was so excited to do this interview with you because, man, it's been a long time since you and I have had a chance to speak or even see each other. How are you doing, man? And congratulations on this new music we're going to talk about.
I'm doing really good. And actually, I don't know if you know this, but I think you were my very first Zoom interview back in the pandemic, And I remember because it took us a few tries to get on. We didn't know the technology of it. I mean, on my end. But anyway, so it's great to see you again and great to talk to you again. So,
Hey, look, I was on your Instagram, and were you stuck in an airport recently?
oh man, yeah, we flew to Brooklyn. It was my first time in the U.S. in a long time to play a private party, and it went super smooth. I was a little worried, about the border and everything, but then coming back, it was just our flight just got canceled, and then the next one got canceled, and then all of a sudden, we're stuck there. We had to get a hotel and come back the next day, but I just find that the whole air travel these days is so unreliable. So we were really happy to get back because I had to do the Ottawa Blues Fest and a few things. So, but yeah, it was just, I mean, it was fine, but it was just annoying that you're stranded there and you can't do anything about it. So.
You got guts going to the States, man, because these days I just won't do it unless I have to.
Oh, I know, and I have to this fall. I mean, I have an album coming out, and also my permit to work down there expires in December. And so it's a kind of a use it or lose it situation. So I have like about 26 shows there in September. It's crazy. And then I think even a few more in December. So, but yeah, I'm a bit nervous about it because it just seems like it just everything went off the rails down there. And but having said that, we were in Brooklyn and everything kind of felt the same. Everyone was nice, and we had a nice hotel there, and uh, everyone we met was great. So I think the people are great down there. It's just, the other stuff, the administration just seems like they're just
Oh.
trying to tear it all down.
Well, I know what you're saying, my friend, but it's great that you are touring, and it looks like a big tour. I know you got a show that's happening in Toronto also towards the end of it. How does it feel knowing that people still love your music? You've never really changed your style. You've always been who you are, no matter what the trends are. How does it feel knowing that people still love it?
It's just, I'm just I feel so fortunate to have got in the door when I did.
Yeah.
And I was already old when I got signed. I was like 30 or 31 or something, which is old for the music biz. So it's amazing. Now this is my 18th album, and I've been able to build or develop a pretty devoted fan base that have stuck with me. And it's not a big, I mean, it's still very much a cult following in a way, but it's great when you book a tour. There's some people who can book a tour and every show sells out in a minute or something. I've never had that kind of career. I'm always hoping that we'll do okay and people will come out. It's never guaranteed. But but I'm super excited about the Canadian tour, which happens right after the American tour, because it just feels easy in Canada when I'm touring. Just like the airports seem less stressful. The people are nice everywhere you go. So I'm really looking forward to that show, the one you mentioned at Danforth Music Hall in November. So
That's going to be exciting. Cannot wait for you to come back home.
yeah.
Let's talk about the new music. Now, the way I always do this now these days is I always like to say, let's make this part official. And then I will ask, which I'm going to ask now, what is the name of the new single, which I love the title, and how does it represent you in this point in your career?
Well, the latest single is called Cigarette and Cocktail, and it's a very nostalgic song. I'm 61 years old, and it's a song that looks back on a time that was perhaps less health conscious, but more free range. And I remember as a kid, going to these, my parents or my grandparents would have these parties, and you're a kid walking around knee high to everyone, and everybody's smoking, everyone's having a drink. There's all these adult conversations going on that I've always found intriguing. What are they talking about? And they're playing their music, and that's kind of what the song is about. Just that maybe, like for example, I don't think I ever wore a seatbelt till I was 18, years old. It was just a different time, and I still remember and I'm not saying it's better or anything, but there's certain aspects of it that I sort of miss, just that kind of, you'd go out at 9 in the morning on the weekend and your mom would say, well, make sure you're home when the street lights go out. You know what I mean? Like, and you were the whole day, she wouldn't have no idea where you were. You're running around and doing whatever you're doing. And I think that was a good way to grow up. It was very, feral or something, And and now everyone, obviously, you can't be that way anymore because everyone is on high alert all the time about something. But so that's what that song is about.
Well, Ron, just so you know, just a couple of days ago, Tuesday, as we speak, I just turned 61.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. So I am absolutely know the lifestyle that you are talking about, where, like you said, you just like, bye, mom. You took off. They
Yeah.
didn't worry about what crazy thing you were going to do, and you did it. You had a crew of people that just rode their bikes. It
Yeah.
was, it's funny because I've heard people say this before where they say you don't know what you have until it's gone. I so miss those days because it was so carefree and so much fun.
Yeah, and the other thing too is back then is like my mom didn't care what we ate as long as we ate, So I'd have like waffles for dinner or something like this, or you know what I mean? It was just like it wasn't all the browbeating that happens a lot these days with your choices, right? So I don't know, man. I'm just, and also I really feel lucky to have grown up at that time in terms of the music I heard, because all the songs I heard at that time were very very melodic, very thought-provoking lyrically. It was just as a kid, I like, wow, it was just every song was kind of opening up my mind about things, and because they weren't singing for kids, it was adult music, but you're a kid trying to grasp what they're talking about, and you're hearing songs like Blood, Sweat, and Tears Do and When I Die, which is, would scare the pants off me at the time, that song or Nowhere Man by the Beatles. I thought, wow, that's what a concept. So anyway, it's hard not to sound like an old man when you talk about the old days, but I do feel grateful to have grown up at that time.
Amen to that, and I absolutely agree with you. One other thing I want to add in too, we didn't have energy drinks. We just took a hose and stuffed it in our mouths, and that
Yeah.
was that was perfect for us. But one of the things I read though, when they talked about this new music, was that some of it also had to do with your experience during the pandemic, and the other was being in the UK. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, well, first of all, the UK was great because I got to work with a producer named Martin Treffy, who's done some of my favorite albums that I've done. The last time we worked was 2007, but we did one called Retriever that did very well for me, and we did one called Cobblestone Runway. So I was mostly happy to be reconnected with him because, I write these folky songs, but he's able to kind of update them in a way that makes them sound more contemporary, that I don't know how to do that. That's the producer's job. But it's just everything he does feels very fresh to me. And I think so we captured that on this record. And also, it had been a long time since had any sort of quality time in the UK. And those are my people. Like my mom was all, Yorkshire pudding and Bakewell tarts and things like that. That's where I come from. So I always feel, and it's also, if I'm being honest, it's also my best market. Like I do better over in the UK and Ireland and that than I do in my own country. So that was good. And in terms of the pandemic, it was such a crazy time for everyone. It was such a scary time. And I think the last bunch of years, I think we all got a bit knocked around by that.
Yeah.
And people say, oh, it's sort of back to normal again, but I don't know if it'll ever feel exactly normal since that. Everyone's still scared. And I know during that time I had a few falling outs with people. I think nerves were raw and people became easily offended, I think. And anyways, it was so the title Hangover Terrace for the album is kind of addressing that feeling, that sort of collective hangover that everyone is feeling, or not, maybe not everyone, but I know a lot of people are. So,
Yeah, no, I could not agree with you more. And just to add in this sort of common bond, born in Hackney, just
oh,
so you know.
oh wow. When did you move here?
Well, I was about 9 months old because my parents came from South America to England, was there for a couple of years. My sister was born there, I was born there, and then we came to Canada, Toronto. So
But you
haven't
grew
been
up,
back.
but you grew up in Toronto then.
I basically grew up in Toronto, but born in Hackney. So one of these
Amazing.
days I'm gonna head over there.
Oh, well, you have to do it. Yeah. I mean, it's just, I just love, I mean, not just England, but I love all those, like those old places, I mean, the
Yeah.
buildings, you just feel really, you just feel really small in a way because you realize how old the civilization is and how long people have been here. And you think about all the great writers from England and all that. So I don't know. Yeah, you definitely have to go back. So.
No, I definitely will. When is this album gonna be out? Do we know yet?
It's coming out August 29th, and
Oh,
it's sort of mixed feelings for me because on one hand I don't want it to be August 29th because that means the summer's almost over. But you know what I mean? But I'm so excited. I just want people to hear this album because I think it's maybe my best one if I'm allowed to say that. But before it comes out, we've just released two singles. There's going to be another single very soon, and then I think even one more after that, before the whole thing, is revealed, I guess. But so August 29th, anyone listening can mark that date, hopefully. So
okay, so we got a lot from you. We got singles coming out. We've got a new album coming out. We've got you on tour. You're touring literally right up to the holidays.
hmm.
So yeah, we got a lot of run this 2025. Are you even thinking about 2026 yet?
Well, yeah, because I just heard that we're going to be going to New Zealand and Australia,
Wow.
maybe Japan. We're going back to the UK also in the spring of next year. Um, I think some European cities too. Where I'm really also so far there's no Eastern Canada shows. I'm hoping maybe next year we can do some of those. But I'm just tired already thinking about how tired I'm going to be when and it all hinges on these two little vocal cords. I got so many shows to do, so I have to try and get sleep and take care of myself. It's not always easy to do that on the road. Um, it's weird. I'm touring more now than I was pre-pandemic, which is crazy, and I'm 61. But anyway, I guess I got to do it while I still can, right? So,
Is this, do you think, because um, it's almost like, and I don't want to call your music nostalgic, but I feel like, especially because of what happened during the pandemic, because during the pandemic, I was very into nostalgia and just even the clothes I was buying and the music I was trying to find over again, wanting to make sure it was on vinyl.
yeah,
And the fact lately, right up to as we speak yesterday, we are losing our iconic artists. Do you
yes.
feel that um, part of that with touring so much is because we want to make sure we capture everything we can with you,
Hmm.
but also still capture that feeling of what we had, as you mentioned before, because like I said, a
Hmm.
lot of it is going.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think in the next 10 years, I mean, it's going to be sad to see so many great, iconic artists that aren't with us anymore. And I
Yeah.
guess that's just what happens. It's just so weird for me even to be 61, which, you got McCartney out there, he's 80 something, he's playing. So I actually feel relatively young, compared to that. But yeah, I mean, I just feel, since the pandemic, I found that very humbling, the pandemic, and I used to say no to a lot of things. Now I'm not doing that. I'm not doing this. But since that, I'm just like, I'll play anything. Give me the opening of a car wash, and I'll do that. You know what I mean? So I'm just playing, and as long as people want to see me play, I'll try to keep doing it, because I do feel like I don't know. I mean, my music probably is nostalgic. I am of a certain vintage, and at least my influences are from that. So that's what I connect to. But I feel, I'm trying to sort of, I guess, cement my place in in the world of music or in the Canadian songwriting thing, legacy. And you do that by showing up and playing, and I just feel the more I hang around, the more people are aware of my music, and the more with all these different streaming platforms, people have more access, even though it's a double-edged sword because, those places don't pay that well or anything. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I think I said it earlier, but I'm just really lucky I got in the door when I did because I would not know how to begin now if I had to start over. Yeah.
I don't want to think about that, but I'm so glad that A, you are doing what you're doing, and B, I get to chronicle it, whether I was in radio or doing it on this.
Yeah.
My friend, thank you so much for making time to speak with me. It is great to see you. Congratulations on this amazing career. Can't
Thank
wait to
you.
hear the album when it comes out, and I'll be there at the Toronto show.
Amazing. It's great to talk to you always, and I'll see you soon, I hope. So.